So I want to talk about a couple of fundamental mathematical laws. The first one is the commutative law, and the commutative law has two different flavors, one for addition and one for multiplication. And essentially it means that we can multiply or add in any order. So for addition, right, this could mean with letters A plus B, says order doesn't matter. We get the same thing if we do B plus A. If I showed you that with numbers, you'd say, oh, of course. So like 2 plus 4 is exactly the same result as 4 plus 2. Doesn't matter what order, you still get 6 out. Right? So then the same thing with multiplication. Imagine what that would be with letters. So maybe x times y. That's the same thing as y times x. So, oh, with numbers. Okay, so 5 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 5. So you can choose whatever order feels best. So in addition to the commutative law, we also have the associative law. And this is what we use with parentheses. So this means we can group however we want. So as long as everything is being added together or everything is being multiplied together, you're good to go. So for instance, if I have the quantity A plus B plus C, I could instead add them A plus, I could move the parentheses and do the B plus C first. Okay. With numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 3 gives me the same thing as 1 plus 2 plus 3. So you know, right, our order of operations say that do what's inside the parentheses first. So here I would do 1 plus 2 first, get 3, add that to the other 3, right? So the left side gives me 6. And then on the right side, 1 plus, this time the parentheses are 2 plus 3. So 1 plus 5. So 3 plus 3 is the same thing as 1 plus 5. Both of them are equal to 6. Right? And then the same thing with multiplication. As long as the only operation we have is multiplying, 2 times 3 times 4 gives me the same thing as 2 times the quantity, 3 times 4. Okay? And we'll verify real quick. So 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 4, right, 24, and we're going to get the same thing on the right-hand side. So 3 times 4, we do that first because they're inside the parentheses. 3 times 4 is 12, and 2 times 12, right, also 24. So I just want to bring up two more vocabulary words. The additive identity, that is at the number 0. And it's called the additive identity because if we add 0 to any number, we don't change the number. Right? So 7 plus 0 equals 7. You can add 0 to any number and you get the same thing out. So now I want you to think about what the multiplicative identity is. What can we multiply any number by and get the same thing out? Exactly. The multiplicative identity is the number 1. So one thing before I leave that you might have noticed for the commutative law and the associative law, I only had multiplication and addition, no subtraction or division, because those order matters, right? If we do, right, no subtraction. If you subtract in a different order, you get a different answer. And same thing if you divide in a different order, you get two different answers. And then associative, if we start slapping parentheses around with minus signs, it totally changes the answer. Okay, so commutative and associative laws only for addition and multiplication.